Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about the assassination of the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. So to start with, John F. Kennedy was born May 29th, 1917 in Brookline, Massachusetts. And Massachusetts is the place that where his political reign began and the place that he continued to come back to throughout his adult life and political career. And he died November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas. That's a picture of him, actually, a couple months before he passed away. For pre-politics, so his father was United States ambassador to England in 1937, and he actually went to Harvard University and graduated from Harvard University in 1940. He was also the lieutenant in the United States Navy, one of them, where he was the commander of part of the South Pacifics, and he was on a torpedo patrol, finding torpedoes and scoping them out of other countries trying to hit our submarines. As far as life and politics go, he served 3 terms in the House of Representatives, which is 6 years, where he represented the state of Massachusetts, and then became the U.S. Senator, one of the senators for Massachusetts, shortly thereafter. And then he became the 35th President of the United States, and his vice president was Lyndon B. Johnson, which later you'll learn played a key role after JFK passed away. So the assassination. Like I said earlier, he was assassinated. He was actually assassinated on November 21st, but he passed away November 22nd, 1963, in Dallas, Texas. And the most popular reasoning is behind Lee Harvey Oswald, which is said to be a conspiracy, just because Lee Harvey Oswald, as pictured to the right here, was actually shot before police could investigate him and question him about the assassination. So he's shot by Jeff Ruby, just not even a day after being arrested for shooting JFK. So no one actually really knows the real story behind it, and that's something that many historians are still trying to find out today, who actually did this to JFK. So what is said to have happened is that JFK and his wife Jackie Kennedy were going through downtown Dallas in a motorcade, greeting all of his people in Texas, when 3 shots went off, the first of which hitting JFK in the back of the head, and that was the fatal wound that ended up killing him barely a day after he got shot. After JFK's death, the United States was in sort of a state of mourning, like a depression, not an economic depression, but just the whole country as a whole was very upset, since JFK was a very liked president, and most people liked most of his policies, so it was just a rough time for the United States. But as shown here, his vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson, shortly after JFK's death, was sworn in on Air Force One, actually. So that's Lyndon B. Johnson with Jackie Kennedy on Air Force One, and he was sworn in as the 36th President of the United States. So that concludes my slideshow. We're going to go through the notes now. So down at the bottom here, this is my first slide. This is just saying this is the introduction of the JFK assassination. As I said earlier, my note on this one was that he was always tied back to Massachusetts, so that's where he was representative and senator from, and that's where he was born as well. For this one, like I said earlier, his father was elected U.S. ambassador in 1937, with his graduation being shortly thereafter. And then he was assigned to the South Pacific as a commander of a controlled torpedo boat. And then life in the politics. He did run as a Democrat, as I said earlier, and then that shows his 3 terms, House of Representatives, his staying in Massachusetts, and then his vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson, that later became the 36th president after JFK. Down here, these are the notes explaining the conspiracy behind Oswald, and that how no one actually knows who killed JFK. And then finally, this is the motorcade through downtown Dallas. That's what I explained with this picture over here of JFK and Jackie Kennedy. And then that fatal wound to the back of his head. And then finally down here is just a little reminder about how the sadness really masked our country after JFK's death, and how hundreds of thousands gathered for his funeral. And the funeral was shown on TV, so just the magnitude of the people that were affected by this. And then obviously this picture as well of LBJ getting sworn in as the 36th president of the United States. So that's the JFK assassination. Thank you very much.